Swami. This is polyhouse. This is an example of protected cultivation. Now we'll take you inside. So in polyhouse you can grow crops which are protected from weather variables, weather disturbances, and for example heat, cold, and wind or thunderstorm, flooding, etc. So you can see that we have in this hydroponics we have put many crops, and in polyhouse we have arranged hydroponic system here. In hydroponics you can see the water is instead of soil, the plants are grown in water, and water contains the nutrient medium. You can see the water is dripping through this nozzle, and this water contains nutrients. So nutrient is taken up by the plants, and you can see that this is December time, and we are growing here kakri. This is cucumber kakri, you can see. Another crop we have grown is this gajar, carrot. This is capsicum, brinjal. All these are in hydroponics. We have also put cherry tomato, and this is normal tomato from last three months old, and these are in pots. These are चुकंदर. इसके बाद ये dill है. This is dill, soya, and this is onion. So you can see that we have tried to raise many crops for demonstration purpose, and here in this you can see the tomatoes are already there and they are ripening. In this plant there are many fruits, around 20 fruits. In some there may be less, but on average, if the nutrient management is good, you get a very healthy plants, and the yield also depend on the variety of the crop. So if the variety is good, then you can get good crop. These are black carrot. इसके ये पौधे तैयार किए हमने, and broccoli, the capsicum seedlings have been raised here. You can shift them to the pots later. So you can see that many of the crops can be grown in the hydroponic system and also in the soil inside the polyhouse. So what are the advantages of polyhouse? The polyhouse has this plastic sheet, thin plastic sheet, which protects from ultraviolet light, and it stops some of the sun rays from coming inside. So the light is less inside, but the temperature is raised. Compared to outside, temperature is more because this plastic sheet does not allow the infrared rays, which are heat rays, from going outside to the atmosphere. So the temperature inside this polyhouse is higher than outside. So it is good in the winter season to keep your polyhouse warmer. But in summer season, when there is already more heat and heat stress is there, so to protect the plants from that heat stress, There is one fan which is running there, which removes the hot air from inside, and these are pads. On the pads, water will fall down through a motor, and thus the cool air will enter inside the polyhouse, bringing down the temperature. So these two mechanisms try to lower the temperature inside the polyhouse in summer season. Now, what are the various aspects that need to be taken care of in hydroponic system? So there is temperature, already I mentioned. Then there is nutrition management, disease management. In nutrition management, we have to see that which crops are growing in which season, and in what kind of nutrition they require. So nutrition requirements are different for different crops, and we have to provide only that amount of nutrition to our crops. So there are macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, and calcium, magnesium, sulfur. So when there is a deficiency of macronutrient, the symptom will readily show in the plant, and macronutrients are required in very high amount. For example, nitrogen is required from 100 to 200 or 300 ppm, 250 ppm. Potash is also required around 200 ppm, and phosphorus around 40-50 ppm. Then we have micronutrients which are required in lesser amount. For example, iron in 2 ppm. Then we have manganese, magnesium, and chloride is there, molybdenum is there, boron is there, and some plants may require special nutrients, like legumes require molybdenum, and chickpea require nickel. So beside that, in most of the crop, the micronutrients are same, and the requirement is also same. Throughout the life cycle, plant need almost same amount of micronutrient, but the macronutrient amount increases with the life of the plant. For example, in the vegetative initial stage, when the plants are less, like this small plant, they require less nitrogen, around 90-100 ppm. But when they are transferred to the soil, or when they are growing in hydroponics, then the gradually nutrients is increased up to 150 ppm. And at the third stage, when the fruits are growing in size and ripening, they require around 200 ppm of nitrogen. So the nutrient requirement varies according to the age of the plant. So we have to manage according to the requirement. And if we are growing multiple crops, then it is difficult to manage the nutrients, because we want to keep the cost less, so we cannot add all the nutrients in excess amount. Excess nutrient may sometimes also be harmful. So to optimize the nutrient cost, they are put in the minimum required amount. The next is the disease management. If there is a fungal disease, it will spread. If it is in the roots, infection is in the roots, it will spread at a very fast rate, because all the water is collecting in one reservoir, one tank, and from there it is going to all other places. So control of fungus is important. It can be done through any pesticides, for example biological pesticide or chemical. If you want to raise organic, then biological pesticides such as trichoderma should be used. And if there is insect that has grown inside the polyhouse, it will spread very fast, at a very fast rate, to all the plants in the polyhouse. So that should be controlled immediately.